That is correct. You heard that right in your head when you read that title. A sonic laser lightning bolt gun. That's right, you're not even fully well versed in this yet, so let me give you the deets. So, using a phaser of different, acoustic resonances, you can create a tube between you and the target fairly quickly. Now, granted, sonic is a little bit slower than light, so what you'll do is you'll use the laser to hit there and basically increase the amount of heat in a given area and spread it out, and then control it like a lens, so to speak, for the laser with multiple pulses, and have a consistent laser that's going to be there. And then, as the sonic weapon happens to go through, it helps both with the laser and the sonic weapon because then you can use the heating pulsing as another Sonic. Now, we're not fully done because, of course, we have the lightning bolt. And so it's like, well, we're going to pulse lightning like a Tesla arc bolt. We're going to pulse it, and then we're going to use lasers to effectively hop it forward with the sonic phasing to help increase during little moments of vacuum densities being there, all things being equal, meaning you don't know a pressure wave is a density to the given atmosphere, and a lack thereof is, of course, a vacuum, as you feel as vibrations. So, anyways, as it goes, you'll be able to use that to extend the length and the directionality and the correcting, kind of like a lens, because of course if you don't know, you're creating a little bit of plasma there. If you create plasma, what does that do? You can use that with lasers and sonics and how they collapse to I'm guessing because I'm in the audience here, I'm thinking, you know uh electromagnetics to control that laser. I'm sorry, the lightning. Yes, there you go. The lightning can indeed be controlled both with the thermoacoustics here, the lightning itself, the light, yes, and of course the plasma itself to arc in no way anymore and be focused as a beam onto target from very, very far away. Perfect accuracy of lightning bolt, bitch. Get wrecked! That's right. It's fucking rigged. I don't need no string. Lightning bolts. Meanwhile, every magician in D&D, I'll do what that guy with the high technology is doing. Fucking damn you. I built the machine that does it every time. Pew pew! This is my wand. Pew fucking pew, bitch! Lightning bolt! It seems like a flashlight. You don't even understand. Oh, anyways, the reason why I was thinking about it is like, well, this would be far and away above what laser directed energy weapons are in the military right now. If you don't know, that's what it was for. Because it was like, well, wheelchair people can't be in the military or some other bullshit. I was like, no, 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 no. Let me just soup that up just a little bit. They can be in the military. Give me a second. Behold, the wheels are now tracks, and you can move them with other wheels that are much easier, like a rowboat, to use. Also, we're not fully done. I know, right? It's gonna suck for you, but yeah. There's a vacuum balloon. It's kind of a rigid structure, so it'll expand and contract. So, like, now they can float. They can move up past obstacles that you wouldn't have believed, and it's quite bullet and puncture resistant. Then it's like, look at this. This is a small solid rocket fuel booster to a jet engine that is a bunch of different missiles that have electricity and some chemical and fuel oxidizer systems to increase the amount of blast yield to the megaton varieties. Megatons? Are you sure they're not next? Yes, actually. But I can't talk about that. Although it's already on my YouTube channel earlier. So you're gonna have to deal with that. But A good way to put it is so electrons moving and feeling and then increasing the amount of kinetic, energy potential using the electricity and the pulsing and frequency of that either through a combo of DC and AC put together. And of course, we're talking about rather significant sizes of course, explosives still, but they do that. It will increase the amount of kinetic, which is why it's megatons. But of course, we're talking about thermobaric too to help increase the amount of, damage, right? Which is why it's a megaton to me because that's its blast radius. Anyways, the wheelchairs go brrr up into the sky, and then we have like the short little stubby. It's a shotgun. It's a good way to put it is it's buckshot combined with slightly larger birdshot. You know, right? An in between buckshot and birdshot, so that way it's able to compactify in the shotgun belt. But as it's a Gatling gun, it goes. You know what I mean? Big booms. But it's like that's perfect for the sonic laser lightning bolt. Do you see what I mean? It goes and it spins and it creates an area of high heat and much greater amounts of electrode potential to increase the amount of Tesla and plasmification of what it is that it's doing. It fires in a particular way, it makes a great sonic, and then with a little laser on the outside and the inside of the Gatling gun, what does it do? It helps create a static area with the kinetic that's going through, of course, and that's a shock wave, right? That can be potentiated into making, especially with all the little hops here that with the BBs and buckshot and all the rest, which they're not really BBs. They're I call them BBs. I don't really know what's the size between a buckshot and like a bird shot because like a bird shot's very small. So it's is like a bearing. Anyways, something like that. You know. Point is that that is now a conduit, a conductor. If you know what you're doing, you can make that into a conduit, and you can skip it. You can skip an electrode forward. The current down the line, with each one of these acting as a battery as they try and land into the target. They also get hotter in so doing, and that's fine. You want them to do that because it hurts the enemy more. So that's a good thing. They also go brrr with the vibrations, dude, a lot more significantly, and then they go die on the other side, the other end of that. Anyways, we're not fully done yet. They have one of my beautiful engines. It's the Jules Thomson turbine engine. That's right, but it's a toroidal. So that what that means is a center, a middle, and an outside is a turbine. It comes in from the sides, it goes through like a torque converter, it burns in the center, goes through the middle as it opens up, it'll close. But during that, that's a medium size transition. But instead of it doing this, I didn't do any work, it's like, no, I did work to do that. And then I was all like, more work over here too because the outside is now the big boy. The big it's colder now. See what I'm saying? Now they're moving inside of a housing, an engine housing, counter rotatively, thus producing this thing called kind of like a flywheel. Now they're big, thick structures, but that's kind of a good thing because I would like that torque, y'all. As they rotate and then they bump stop off of each other, they produce increased gapping and tolerances that allow for the exhaust to suddenly have a fucking part like a valving system. Shockingly, it works just fine. Oh, but wait, no, there's this thing called gapping. Now, that means I happen to have electricity go in between those gaps and or not. It's a electromagnetic repulse or a static attract. Lorentz force, is what they go with. I'm like, Z-pinch! Yeah, heard of it? It's a fucking electron flow circuit. It's a Z-pinch, dummy. Not Lorentz force. Ridiculously stupid person. It's a Z-pinch. You should really look that up. Current going in one direction, which I don't care if it's a whole bunch of them going all in this, same direction. It creates a attractive vortex, like, like spin force. You know what I mean? Right? Same thing with the electro repulse. Right, except it's burning fuel to do that, and that's fine. Because now I can get both of them to work together. More efficient, much more compact. Yeah, look, a battery here and there, and you think I can't do it, and then it's all like, no, I can do this. Look at me in my chair. You thought you would get to be able to escape in your wheelchair from the draft, huh? You dick. No! I don't want to go. Fuck the wheelchair. I don't have the ability. I'm in a coma. That's the only way to get out. Coma people can now have their brain to interface with computers and help us. You! You will do more! The military wants you to. Yeah, well, me on the other side of that. I just thought it was cool. Honestly, just the idea. Because it's using one of my designs for my barrels and Gatling types in my YouTube channel earlier. But the basic premise is it's a type of combo ceramic. Like how they do concrete, right? And they have rebar on the inside, right? It's kind of similar. It's a ceramic, but then it's got a bunch of fibers and then a bunch of very, very stiff fiber, kind of like a metal, but like it's really powder. And anyways, when we heat it, because we have to heat it, and it has a specific tube, and as a mold, right? And then we're able to like break shrink the tube on the inside. Then we're able to pull it out. That's a whole other thing. Because it's basically a mold and it's pressure forming under heat, is what you would imagine, but not really, because no, fuck that. It's actually, here's electrode here and ground there, run current through during this heating process in a vacuum, which shockingly is your oven in your home that you sealed up and then had a vacuum pump happen. Especially when you need to heat it up anyways. And there's already an electrode and ground circuit in the oven. So, you could make this barrel at home, everyone. But if you don't want to do that, which probably most of you, a good way to describe it is the barrel is an undulation. So it's like it's a little bit gappy in the rear towards where the bullet's being fired, right? But then it has a type of overhang and these little like, squeeze, kind of moments that are along the way, and it gets closer and closer and closer. So it's like, let's say it was a half inch, and then it would go like half of that, then half of that, then half of that, and half of that, and half of that, and then it's like fully that. But right towards the end, where the tip is, all it is these little vertical, kind of stators. They're little ridges on the inside, and what that does is it grabs it, and then it sticks it, into being straight. It doesn't create any fins, but it doesn't want to wobble anymore. It stays fucking true. Okay? Right? Really super cheap because you can build it with regular mold materials on a 3D printer. Ceramics are almost always pretty much the same. Get some spark plugs, or some plates, get some epoxies, get some shit like that. You know, blend it together with some powder of steel, hardened steel or something like that, and it'll work every time. But the reason why is like, I am the guy fighting the police state of America. It's dystopian future time. We need to figure out how to fight the American army, bring them down a peg or two. Behold, my Gatling gun technology that I can en masse make. I can pop up that barrel no problem. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's get out those deer slugs, baby runes. We're gonna fuck them up. Look at these hardened slugs in the center. Oh, yeah. Those are some nice armor piercings. Let's see, I got this two-barrel system that rotates the barrels through a given central area, which, by the way, it uses the gases and the recoil to rotate the barrels to both more silently operate it, but also reduce the amount of recoil because it also, from the magazine, pull in rounds to fire. That's a gearing system. Now, as a result, I need a lot less electricity to move that. And I was like, well, the sonic laser lightning bolt system would be nice. Because it goes, and then it's gone. It's like effectively, you get like less than a second, and then 2,000 rounds are out and gone. Which, like, we removed the deer slugs for those ones, just FYI. We're like 45 ACP. We need smaller rounds. These fuckers are heavy after 2,000 fucking. I need to, backwards and forward, do the whole like, Z's or like what is that? The tooth, the teeth fin, sticking in between. What do you call that? Like teeth, you know what I mean? Like they draw like a shark tooth on cartoons or whatever, a little zigzag on the teeth. I was like, behold, actually that will work. Yeah, they can just rotate the fucking barrels and it's gonna grab it and put it in instead of fucking springs, which by the way, they have a vacuum spring system. And then, the things moving, that's a whole like air thing. It's really super cheap to make, and then it handles high heat extraordinarily well. And well, it lasts for a really long time, right? They're also all bullpup as a result of this because I don't really need nearly as much in terms of like, because I have an oil system as well for like any other extraneous. Well, it's actually a vacuum oil system with some air in between hydraulic fluid. But that's why those things spin and still have lubrication. Anyways, because of the undulation, there happens to be, instead of fluting, we use uh, horizontal instead of vertical flutes, channels, right? And that's a heat sink area. But also, when you vertically channel some of it, and then you diagonally, meaning helically, channel some of it in the right areas, as it spins, it becomes far stronger, which means less material is needed and it weighs much less. Same thing with the magazine when it's essentially just plastic and a little composite of some of the ceramic, you know what I mean, put into a mold and then just squeezed for a while. I had a bunch of like drones that were like, behold my coffee can mixture with my, what is this? Sodium ion and lithium ion batteries that do the direct birdie wear and then the alternating birdie wears to increase the blast yield radius by using electricity to increase the kinetic energy potentials. Not to mention, they also happen to do the burn thermobaric properties as they take up oxygen in our environmental air. Is there some diesel over there too? What do you need? No, get out of it. Oh, is that a acetylene I see? Don't do this anymore. There's more electricity here. Where did that come from? Now I shall turn the atmosphere into my own electron redox flue. Please stop. What is that over there? An oxidizer agent of a rusty coffee can? It seems as though I'm using the very atmosphere and a little electricity to make the accelerative property of my... What is this? Thermite? Thermite. Bombs. They shall use vacuums. Nothing but vacuums everywhere. They're the cheapest, lightest weights. It simply just expands, and now it's buoyant, and then it goes really fast. Because that's like a ducted fan and some burning of some fuel towards the end, like an afterburner. It compresses it, and it goes faster. And some electricity, and we need to start that anyways. We need heat somewhere, and the whole thing, and create the electrical contact circuit between that. I was like, behold, all of my cool Earth sea cars that will go underneath all of the Abrams with my massive multi-tier. That's right. It blows up several times. It's a spike wave blast. So it starts off with a larger, and this is like a more of a aluminum or copper or something, and we get to the steels, and then we're going hardcore into some of the tungstens from all the incandescent bulbs and other stuff, heavier metals that we're using as a potential blast yield as to increase the potential of this RPG, the thermal lance trying to get in. So spikes waves. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those ones. It's 3 for the drones, right? For the blasts, right? But like they're meant to kind of hit, but they can't really be stopped. They could be automatic, and they don't really need the little wire. You know what I mean? Just like anyone else, because it's like, no, I shall paint it with a laser. I don't need that. This isn't obvious like what this is. It says the AI knows. The AI says that that's for sure an Abrams, because we have more than enough Abrams tank pictures and videos, so like, pretty sure that's an Abrams. It's thinking for itself, sir. Read. Meanwhile, also me, throw a grenade over there. What do you know? I did exactly that. It's a thermal barrack grenade. It's the same size as their grenade, but Anyways, moving on after a while here. I was like, I need to fight the guerrilla warfare with my anarchist socialist democrat self from the bees wax my ass. Stop interrupting over there, douchefuck. The Republicans are going down. You stupid conservative fucking bastards. You're getting wrecked. I'm a grizzled veteran in this. You're gonna die. Anyways. So I was like, look at all my engines. Look at all my fucking tires. Look at all this. Look at all that. I've got body armor for days on my fucking YouTube channel. You don't even know. Effectively, it's another version of the same thing, though. It's like, if you impregnate a lot of cotton or like, different types of blends of like, certain jacket materials with like effectively run electricity through and electromagnetics in certain areas, you create that Z pinch and electromagnetic pole alignment, and they form essentially around this epoxy strand fiber, a bunch of very hardened, what do they call that? It's a steel. So like the steel with the ceramic that's around it creates a binder material in between, and there are these little crystalline structures that are very, very hard to break. But they move. And then they're woven together. And then I, put them into jackets and then shirts and all the rest of it. But what the best part is, they're non-ferromagnetic with what it is I do. Because there has to be other carbon, remember? Right? And there are blends of the strands of fibers. We're talking about synthetic and organic, which has carbon and other things like that around. And so it'll actually reduce, because it dopes it, the amount of total ferromagnetic properties of the material. It also weighs a hell of a lot less, because I need a lot less to achieve the same results. So it's like, I'm not even fully done because look at this. Look at this. This is a sabo, but it's not really a sabo. See, this is a hammer. It's a big weight in the side, but it's meant to scrunch as it hits something. And then this little thing in the end, because it scrunches outwardly, and this little hardened steel core, because you want it to mushroom. You know what I mean? This hardened steel core then has a big old opening in the front that goes piercy like an impact wrench. Bang! Sledgehammer hit it, but it's like, no, we're not even fully finished because it's like this is basic bitch black powder that doesn't make itself until it's under enough heat and pressure. But it's not really black powder, of course, because it needs to scrunch a little bit, right? But it's really just like an explosive detonation, more or less than anything. Anyways, when it impacts, it goes bang, and then it fires. It's the fucking hardened steel core, even harder and even hotter. The nice little copper that I'm using in the center. It goes thermal lance through, and then I'm trying. My massive body is heavy and hard. Meanwhile, the bismuth aluminum blend with a ceramic, I forget what it was. I think it was some, it doesn't matter. Anyways, bismuth is cheap. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot less destructive to us, our soldiers. You know what I mean? Because lead sucks. It's bad for you. Okay? You don't want to use lead. Lead's bad. So is bismuth. But, at least with a little bit of aluminum, it's a lot less. It doesn't bind. It's not organically soluble. Lead is, though. Yeah, but that's the ceramic part. Anyways, I used to do the whole lead thing because it was like, well, if you do lead and you just paint it with some beeswax and some like basic ass bitch like ceramic paint. No, it's oil-based paint actually. Oh, that's actually good for your barrel, but also it prevents the barrel from getting a bunch of that lead, which is, well, not fully, but a little bit. And mostly it's during round loading and so on, which is good because you're going to want that. But it still has these microscopic and nanoscopic dusts and particles of lead when you fire your rounds, which I don't like. So, like, that's why a lot of my barrels and everything else are effectively a bunch, which if you look at it, it's like there's this external between the two rotating barrels. There's this, effectively it's a suppressor, but it's really a turbine that helps make everything rotate. And if you know anything about gyroscopic effects, it's like, I don't want to lift, and I'm very stable exactly where I am, and it's really easy for me to point and shoot, and it makes almost no sound. Also, there's a woo as the air goes upwards to help prevent the lifting of the barrel. Anyone can fire it, really. Well, it's like I need to extend the duration of like lethality. It's been less than a second and I'm gone. I'm carrying so many rounds. Look at how fucking many rounds I'm carrying. This is so stupid. Anyways, so it's like, all right, we got 7-round bursts, we got 13-round bursts, all right, and then we have 2-round bursts. Then you have a single semi, boom, that's it, then it's full auto. Okay, big full auto boy. Real big fully, big boom, auto. Gone in flash here. Anyways, he spins it up a little bit, and it's like, right, by the way, bzzing! Look at this, it's a laser, some sonics. There's some lower wavelengths, there's some medium wavelengths, there's some higher pitch wavelengths, even higher, and all the rest of it's they're going to with the lightnings. We shall now make an electron redox flow. Fucking oh yeah, battery from the atmosphere. That's right. Along with hitting you with a just good old fashioned 7-round burst that makes them really, really fast and hard to fucking pin down with these. Where are these strangers coming from? Fuck you and your light going anywhere other than I said it would. Look at these silent motherfuckers heading towards you. that are hotter than the fucking surface temperature of the sun. Yeah! Ah! Lightning bolt strikes again! Boom! Get wrecked over there! What is that, a fucking plane? Meanwhile, me. Look at this, it's just a fucking drone net. That's right, it's just a bunch of drones holding up a net. Oh no, your plane! Fucking no! Look at this. There's no such thing as radar or LiDAR or any of these things. I can't possibly visualize. Scout, do you see anything over there? Yeah, I do. All right, boom. Mayday! Fucking we have countermeasures for all these, but a net does this in every time. Meanwhile, it's also, you don't even understand. They blow shotgun pellets at you. If they're close enough, they'll explode. And a bunch of thermobaric and many more shockwaves with mini kinetics and all the laser and lightning bolts will hit you in the air. We also have a bunch of nice Zeppelin balloony things. But they're really specifically just decoys, and you know that. You have to burn a few of your missiles if you want to try and get in. What you got over there? Guns? Look at us. Lightning bolt! Ah! What is that, a fucking satellite? The lightning bolt hit the satellite! Oh, some people finally knew lightning bolts do go into space. There are those things that do that. In fact, they're so significant that we have to turn off our satellites so that way they can pass through them like a corona mass ejection without getting damaged. Meanwhile, lightning bolt directed energy. Boom. I'll just get my vacuum, blimp airship and then lightning bolt it from closer. We get out my super fast hypersonic craft, which I have several different designs on my YouTube. Look at this one. It's the air. I'm sorry, not the air. Well, it's the airship hang glider tech more than anything, but it's effectively that. The faster it goes, it starts using a scram ram undulational acoustic resonance vibration pump. Burns it, and then it uses a ionic to plasma, which they both attract each other, and then of course you can accelerate them and then have an exothermic reactivity burn, and then also still add in extra increased amounts of air to improve the amount of density and mass ejected at a given area bell end. Instead of using the prop though in the rear, that would just be a secondary burn area into another bell end. Which, by the way, goes faster for cheaper than their stuff. Behold, the dystopian future, my fucking ass, we're winning. It's going down. Training! We have training! Hey, you guys over there, any athletes, anything? Here's some tactics. We've never heard of tactics before, ever. Certainly don't know how to punch and kick. What is this, a knife? Stab. Hey, I need you to get the ability to, oh, here's a nice little exoskeleton. I made it myself. It's basically like my space suit that I have several different versions on my channel. One of the most recent ones is actually, I think I added Scott Manley on that video. Anyways, it's effectively a change, but it's like a wearable, instead of like a big stiff rod, it's more of a suit of skin, kind of thing that's very tight. And, you get a bunch more extra, lift carrying and protection. Because it's built, like the spaceship itself was built to stop micrometeorites that could kill you if you weren't paying attention. Even the helmet right? So it's like, well, micrometeorites are far stronger than the standard military small arms of a 223 or even 7.62 rifle, or hell, even a 50 cal wouldn't even stop it. They could hit the same spot over and over and over. It wouldn't matter, even with their armor piercing. Meanwhile, what's this? An RPG? Oh yeah, no, I've got that already though. But I'm gonna move on because lightning bolt from the spacesuit, effectively active denial. So that's what that is. You know. Oh, what do you know? The RPG exploded over there instead. I don't even need this stupid. What is this? What is this? Like multiple pods? Fucking weirdos. Why don't you just get on my level of the guerrilla warfare fighter of a socialist democrat anarchist? Just be smart. Just be smart. Fucking weirdos. I haven't even had my medicine. You can tell. When I had my medicine, it's like, oh yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm in the hyperactivity mode. I'm stimulating myself. Anyways, it was also supposed to be based upon how I would use the atmosphere and some electricity and phononic and all that as a Wi-Fi for the world. You could use a couple of airship balloons in certain places strapped down, and you make a lot of electricity using that. But also, they'd be Wi-Fi hopping using a sonic laser lightning quotation marks bolt instead of a lightning bolt. Though it was really more of a circuit. So you had three different redundancies. If one were to get reduced, you'd have the two backups for, and it now can be used kind of in the same way that a quantum qubit system internet will work, because you can disguise multiple packets and not have the full information without all three collapsing and being known, with the ones in front and behind helping discover what it is that information was about. But that's a part of my internet packet kind of video, and if you listen to that on my YouTube channel, then you'd know what that is that I'm trying to do. I talked briefly about it for the. Well, I use sonic and lasers and lightning bolts, but you wouldn't believe me. I'm going to have to make a new video later on. Well, here's the later on. You know what I mean? Anyways, I was just walking my dog and, going through like a little bit of a rougher patch of ground, and I was like, so, wheelchair, huh? What's up over there, Greg Abbott? Guess who's getting drafted? Ain't so inclined challenged anymore, huh? That's right. Because you're a racist garbage person and I hate you. Fucking hate your ass. Hardcore, man. I do. I hate you so much. Anyways, here's a bunch of ways to get your wheelchair to upgrade so you too could go join the military like you said you couldn't. Why don't you do that, Greg? Hey, Greg! Greg! Why don't you go join the military right now? Hey, why don't you put the money where your mouth is, Greg? Do it again, Greg! Since you love him so much, Greg! Come on, Greg! Go fucking have fun, Greg! Oh, what do you know? He doesn't want to. He's always like all the other politicians. The ability, but mine bigger, definitely more than the here's a bunch of ways that you can now go into the theater of action there, Greg. Greggy Boo. Huh? I'm gonna say some shit. Mental health is not that big of a deal for people, especially not men. It's always just a lie. Ableism, misogynistic, toxic masculinity garbage. Hate you, Greg. It's a knowledge of what he's stated over the years, and he hasn't really showed in any way that he's not that. So, fuck you, Greg. Why don't you go off back into the war? Meanwhile, here you go, citizens! A floaty wheelchair that allows you to pump differently. It uses leverage action and storage of energy, and depending on how much you want to store, because that's basically off of like how you rotate the wrist. I mean, not potentiometer, but that's like a flywheel. So it's like a spring flywheel system, and so then it'll engage a clutch for the wheels and or tread, depending on what you want to do. That allows for you to then like more easily maintain a consistent, you know, kind of like biking. Like we have gears, right? So it's like you can hit certain gears and cadences that allow for you to be a lot less taxed to move yourself around on a wheelchair. It's just like, wow, wheelchair tech has never evolved. What is this garbage? Look at this garbage, people. Just selling them fucking $5,000 for that? We all just act like it's not a fucking total money grab. What the fuck? Anyways, here's a new wheelchair. Go fuck yourself, idiot companies and government not regulating or stepping in. Or how about you, creators? Apparently, you didn't even bother to think about it. They would have gotten 42 minutes in before they learned how shitty they are. So there's that. So, good old them being the bad ones and not me. As much as they try and pretend that that's not the case. Shut up over there. I'm trying to think of my way out of this. The tagline of the audience. Anyways, suck my dick and balls. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification. Please share it so I can grow. Have a good one. Bye.